Hey guys, welcome back to another Warframe video, and today I want to continue my series with lore behind the frame, and today we'll be covering Valkyrie. So you may be thinking that today I don't really have anything to say because Valkyrie, what does she actually have to do with Valkyrie? Probably nothing, right? That's probably what a lot of people are thinking, honestly. But that's because our version of what a Valkyrie is not actually spot on to what it used to be. You know, before Christianity came along and altered our view, our perception of it, which kind of sucks because I personally like the version that, you know, was put forth, but it can't be true because it's not the original form. It's an altered version. I'll explain it in a bit. But first, let me tell you the version that most people know, right? Because it's portrayed in TV and stuff. So the story, as you probably know it, is the Valkyrie are warrior women sent down from the gods to watch over battle. They ride on Pegasus, or Pegasuses, which in itself is not true. I'll explain that in a second. And then they choose the warriors that show the most courage, and they take them to, Valhalla, where they'll fight there for basically all of eternity, training and fighting, preparing for, the last day, the end of the world, where they'll fight in this great battle. Right, that's the story. However, that's not 100% true because that's post-Christianity influence. First of all, Pegasuses, they weren't in this mythology. That's Greek, and I don't know the plural for Pegasus, because there even shouldn't be a plural for Pegasus. It's one creature that existed one time. You see, there was a woman, Medusa, who was violated. She was raped by Zeus, this fucking jackass, and then she was... I'm not even gonna get into that story. But the point is, she eventually got killed. Her blood was splattered everywhere after this violation. Not from it. Not from it. It's a different story. But these two, perhaps three things, because her being turned into a Gorgon, her being violated by Zeus, and then her being slain by some epic hero, gave birth to a Pegasus. Came out her body. It was birthed out of this. So it was a super rare circumstance for this to have happened, and that there was only one. I'm not even sure Pegasus is the name of the creature. Pegasus may have been the name of the baby. That's his name, is Pegasus, not that he is a Pegasus. Therefore, they can't all be riding on Pegasuses because there was only one, and it's from a completely different mythology, so it's not possible. So Valkyrie from Warframe, she doesn't even seem like she has anything to do with Valkyrie. She seems more like a berserker, right? So let's go down this rabbit hole for a second, and it will make sense. Just bear with me. If you know what a berserker is, it's pretty much people who you could even be a calm, mellow person, passive or whatever, but when you enter battle, you are infused with like warrior spirit. You are furious. You are a maniac. You're pretty crazy. I don't know if you're supposed to use the C word these days, but you're straight up crazy. Like you might jump on someone like all feral like and rip out their ear like Mike Tyson, like, and all kind of shit. You're just gonna go berserk, which is a berserker, right? And that's what she seems like. So you may be thinking, like, what the hell does this have to do with a Valkyrie? And this has everything to do with a Valkyrie if you want to go by the oldest of tales. So in the oldest of tales, the Valkyrie seem more like spirits. They seem more like fae. Sure, they were guardian spirits that kind of like watched over and even helped and even influenced the battle. But it seemed like they were more spirit-like than actually, being a raven in a tree or being a woman on a Pegasus just standing there in the woods watching you fight to the death. They were actually more spirit-like, and they were more involved. But then you may be like, what the hell? Why is there this image that they're actually people, that they're like women and stuff like that? But it can be both. They can, but it's a concept that modernly it's not really portrayed in America, or I'm not sure if this concept is portrayed anywhere. Like, I've not really seen stuff where this is a thing. Maybe I saw one thing once upon a time, but I don't even recall where I saw it at. And the word, I believe it's pronounced huga, and it's kind of like something like astral projection. So the Valkyrie were supposed to be, some of them were spirits, yes, that can do things, which I'll explain in a bit. But some of them were also doing this hugra stuff, which is kind of like you're astral projecting. So you are a woman somewhere laying in the world asleep or sitting there meditating, but your body's astral projecting outwards. So you, to the viewer, to the warrior in battle, you are a ghost, right? Because your spirit is out there. But then there's more to this. It's not just that they're astral projecting and out there watching stuff. No, they're influencing stuff. Because like I said, they're a guardian spirit, right? So the whole point of this is they can infuse themselves into people that they choose to. It's kind of like possessing them, right? So this is the concept that is weird, because you know what astral projection is, but this Huda stuff is probably like, what the hell's this? This is new. Why don't other people use this? I don't know, but this is the concept that was used in the old stories. So how it's supposed to work is you're a warrior, you go into battle to fight. This person astral projects into your body and takes over you and is more fierce than you. They're fighting with everything they have, and they are not holding back. You know, when you go into battle to fight, you may be holding back, or you may flinch, or you may be scared of taking injury. They're not, because that's not their body. They're fighting with every fiber of their being and your being. Like, hell have no fury, right? This is why in some cases the Valkyrie were considered witches, because technically I guess you would classify astral projection and possession as witchcraft. They're also considered warriors. This is why, because they actually are partaking in the battle. Guardian spirits, yes, this is checking all the boxes. This is why, because it's leading back to this older version of how they're supposed to be. And the point of a berserker is like, what? It's supposed to be that you're this person, you act like this, but when you get into battle, you switch. Like, you're not yourself. You're a different person. You're way more fierce, way more ferocious. You're not even concerned for your own well-being. Like, you will do stupid, crazy stuff just to get your kill, or, you know, that's because that's not you anymore. That's someone else that doesn't have they don't have concern for your body. Perhaps not as much as you would. Maybe they do want you to live, but they're also not afraid of getting cut and stabbed, but you are. So now, knowing these few things in lore, you have some context as to why Valkyrie in Warframe actually makes sense. So let's compare her movesets to all that context I just gave you. Her passive is faster recovery from knockdown and immunity to hard landings. I'm not really sure that's great, but it shows that you're less affected by the world. And if you know your body's just a puppet for someone else, they're gonna be phased by less things. So her fourth ability, Hysteria, she's just straight up a berserker. There's no denying this. But now that you have the context understanding that this actually makes sense with Valkyrie, yeah. One thing I don't actually like, but I kind of like, so I'm kind of torn, is Valkyrie were more like shield maidens, and a lot of them straight up use spears. They didn't pull out their claws and start slashing people, so it would have made sense if she was more of a shield and spear user, or just a spear user. But I do like the ferociousness, because it's playing more with the modern lore of berserkers, that they're just like furious and they'll throw down their weapons, they don't even care, they'll run at you, slash you, bite you. That seems more ferocious. So I kind of like the idea that she's just clawing at you like a maniac. But in reality, they probably would have more likely used a weapon, and a spear in particular. Her third ability, Paralyze, in lore, you know, most people, if you were to see a berserker, you're probably going to be scared. And some people, you know, it's not just fight or flight instincts. There's paralyzed too. You're frozen in fear and you don't know what to do. So I would imagine some people, they would be scared shitless, and they see a group of people that they know are berserkers go all furious, hell yeah, some people are gonna freaking be paralyzed. They're gonna be petrified in fear. Her second ability, the war cry, absolutely within lore. Like, not just within lore, but like the whole idea of this concept. Like, you're a warrior, you're a Norse warrior going into battle, and you're a berserker as well, infused with the spirit of a Valkyrie. Like, I don't imagine that person will walk into the battlefield calm and mellow and let's go guys. No, they're gonna be amped the fuck up. They're gonna be furious, they're gonna be yelling, they're gonna be screaming and war crying. Hell yeah, this is gonna be super aggressive, super amped up. As for her first ability, her rip line, I really have no idea why this is in her toolkit. I guess they didn't really understand how Valkyrie managed to get around, so they were just like, fuck it, let's just do anything. Because do they ride in on a Pegasus? Are they riding in on a horse? Are they just spiritual being? They didn't know how to portray this, so they just like, fuck it, let's just do a rip line. They just come down from wherever, I don't know. So let's go on to her image now. So one of her helmets is the daughter of the gods, and another one of her helmets is a Valkyrie, one of many. But I want to talk more specifically about her helmet of Bastet and my speculations on this. So in Egyptian mythology, Bastet is actually an Egyptian goddess. She's a cat, but she can be cat humanoid as well. But this is where my speculation comes in, because a lot of times when you just see a Warframe, even me, I look at them and I'm like, wow, DE doesn't know. They just slap names on anything and titles, and they don't even know what they're doing with lore. But when I take a second and I actually like think about it, I'm like, wait a second, is this a coincidence, or do they actually know what the hell? Like, they know lore deeply and they fuse things together, but it's like hidden. It's so hidden that like you really have to know lore, or it doesn't make sense. So like, what am I even babbling about right here? Yeah, because like, let's say in the minds of the creators of Valkyrie, right? What if they knew all this ancient lore of Valkyrie and Berserker? They knew the Hugra. They understood this concept. But their version is like, Bastet, a cat goddess, is the Valkyrie that is infusing the Warframe. So yes, you're a berserker, yes, you're infused by a spirit, but what if that spirit is a cat? And that is why she has she pulls out her claws. She drops her weapons and pulls out her claws, because she has more of a feline mentality. She's berserk, she's furious, but she's a cat, not a Norse warrior. Wouldn't that make some sense? Why else would they have modeled her after a feline? Why else would her helmet be about Bastet when it has nothing to do with Norse mythology? Did they mix this stuff together to make Valkyrie the way she is? Or is this just a coincidence and they're just mixing anything together and see what happens? I have one more speculation to make. I wanted to make a whole big video about this in the past. I just didn't know how to even get started with it, honestly. But I feel like I have to at least note it here because of Valkyrie's image. Neon Genesis Evangelion is an anime that I had never seen in the past. I know it's super popular, but I had personally never seen it in the past. But I saw it on Netflix a while ago. And you may be like, why are you talking about anime right now? It's because I think that DE took a lot of inspiration from this anime for Warframe, now knowing these two entities, right? First I'm going to talk about Valkyrie, because the image of those weird handcuff things on, or brace cuffs, whatever the hell those are, it really always annoyed me when I was on Valkyrie. And I was like, why do they insist on putting this on her? Like, she's free now, right? I know she was captured or whatever, but she's free now. Just take those stupid clunky things off. It'll make your arm speed a lot faster, right? But then when I was watching that anime, I saw that same image of Valkyrie's things. Like, I'm gonna put a picture of it. Like, they match almost perfectly. It looks exactly. And I was already making correlations between Evangelion and fucking Warframe. But this image right there, it kind of like, it nailed the coffin in for me. I was like, okay, they're definitely inspired by this. There's no doubt. There's multiple things. I'm just gonna go into it here, so I don't have to make a separate video, or maybe I'll still make a separate video about it. But it's like, Evangelion, they have these things walking around the world, these creatures. They're kind of feral, like they're kind of like Umbra, right? But they're called angels. Okay, and what happens in the anime, spoilers, but what happens in the anime is they're actually using those angels on their side, so they're against angels, so they would be called demons, right? And what these things are is they're like giant mechs. So bear with me here, but the suits that they wear in the show to go inside of these mechs they look like the Warframe operator suit, right? Second, the Warframes themselves, they look like a smaller version of these giant mechs. And they would be called demons in comparison to the angels. We're called demons. We have mechs. We're wearing these suits. And some of our enemies are called angels. I'm just saying. I see a lot of correlations, like a lot. I'm not going to go into the full ruining of that anime if you want to watch it or whatever, or full ruining of Warframe if you're a new player. I'm not going to ruin everything for you, but there are some correlations there. So I'm not saying this is 100% a ripoff of the anime, but I'm saying they definitely were inspired by it. Anyway, that's all I got for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.